So just a quick caveat, this is a mod my son wanted, but I could do without. So I totally understand how this blow-off valve sound is subjective. All right, let's get started. You're going to need an assortment of long 5mm Allen sockets, T-handles, extensions, swivel sockets, and a ratchet wrench. My preference is to use one of these ball end Allen keys. It just makes accessing the bolts a lot easier. Oh, and maybe some tape to help with reinstalling the new bolts. And of course the Boomba Racing blow-off valve adapter. It's made of aluminum with pretty nice red anodizing. And the kit comes with 3 new longer bolts. Okay, so a little bit of background. Here's the location of the factory bypass valve. And when the throttle plate closes, throttle plate right here, the excess boost pressure is currently recirculated back into the factory intake. And this prevents turbo compressor surge. And the turbo is located right there. The Boomba adapter will convert your factory bypass valve to a vent to atmosphere style. The bypass valve adapter has cutouts in it, so when it's installed between the factory charge pipe and existing factory bypass valve, the pressure is released into the atmosphere. Okay, I took off the engine cover to give us more room and for clarity. If needed, you can also remove these two 10mm bolts for the coolant expansion tank, and that'll give you a little bit more room. Alright, so remove the 3 bolts that hold the bypass valve. We'll start with the top one with the 2-inch extension. And for the bottom left, I used swivel and an extension to get to that one. All right, and the third one's a little bit hard to access, so I'm going to use one of these ball end wrenches. And the ball end makes it easy to access at an angle. Okay, and the valve can now be popped off and push down on the little tab right here, and that'll enable you to release the electrical connector. And although these 3 holes look like they're an equilateral triangle, it's slightly off center. So make sure that the dual O-rings are seated properly and align with the adapter to the associated holes. Okay, and finally reinstall the adapter with the longer screws provided by Boomba. Okay, and then I'm starting with the top bolt. And then I'm going to make it snug but not quite tight until I get the remaining 2 bolts in. Okay, and to assist with the install, I'm just going to use a little piece of tape to keep the longer bolt onto the hex. Okay, and then you have the third and final bolt. And then at this point, make sure that all three bolts are snug. Okay, and lastly, we're going to reinsert the electrical connection till it clicks. All right, we just completed the installation of the Boomba bypass valve adapter, and this is what it sounds like post-install. Alright, and that's the installation of the Boomba bypass valve adapter on an Ecoboost Mustang. If you like what you see, please click like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.